Hi there, this is Bravo 1 with Bravo Team Airsoft, and today I'm going to go over my SEAL Team 2 kit. So Bravo 2 has already done a video on this, on his personalised kit. I figured I'd do my own. I wasn't going to do one of these for a while as my kit's still a bit in shambles. Originally this kit was built some years ago. It's been dissected to go towards other builds and other kits, and we have not really revisited the SEAL Team 2 thing for a while. So therefore my kit's a bit in shambles, it's still not quite built up. So I borrowed from other kits just to make this video as an example of how my kits are. So I have two configurations for this kit, which I'll go over shortly. As my weapons change, as I like to do, as you can see, I have a lot of stuff, probably more than any other member of my team, as far as weapons goes. So first of all, I'm going to talk about my primary. So my AK-47, this is the Tokyo Marui Recoil AK-47. I absolutely love this gun. If you've watched my videos, it's my favourite of AKs and possibly one of my favourite guns. I have my entire collection. It does vary from time to time as I have quite a few favourites. I do absolutely love this gun. I've used it many times, and with it being such a lightweight and iconic, because we know a lot of SEALs did use AKs, this works for this kind of kit. There was talk of a TM-AKM being built, which Bravo 2 was going to buy, so he'd have a similar version to this, but it wouldn't be this version, it'd be different, as he prefers the AKM to the AK-47. Unfortunately, that's going to be a gas blowback version, and most of my guys just don't like the gas ones. We prefer the AEGs. So yeah, so this is my first option, which is the Tokyo Marui AK-47. Put that down over here. Right, so I'm also carrying on me a Law 72, which would go a combination with my AK if I'm using it. Now this doesn't function, it's just basically an inert Law 72 I've got for the kit, as I've seen a lot of pictures of SEALs carrying these slung on the backs. So I thought, you know, it was a good iconic bit for the looks. This can be modified to fire 40mm shells. I have done the necessary modifications, but it's just not that practical. So if I'm ever going to go to the point of using 40mm, I'm just going to use one of the 203s on my Car-15 or M16 or even my M79 itself. So that's my Law that I usually have on my back with the AK. So that would be my first weapons combination. So the second combination I would have, which is obviously going to be my Stoner. So I've used this quite a lot over the years. It's seen some serious use. So yeah, basically this is my Stoner machine gun or Stoner rifle, depending what you want to call it. This is obviously in the machine gun configuration, as far as I'm aware of. No other airsoft company makes a different version model of this as of yet. So this is an excellent weapon. It's got a lot of suppression. It's highly quality built. It's got some fair weight to it. It's not as bulky and as awkward as an M60. And it's a lot more reliable than an M60, as I've recently got rid of my M60 to Bravo 2, as I just hated the thing. It's by far been the worst gun I've ever got, and that's the A&K M60. It's good for looks, but other than its looks, it is basically a paperweight. If you're sticking it on a Ford Motor Deuce and Half or having it on the base, it's excellent, but for actual use, it had consistent problems with wiring, the metal snapping. It was just a hunk of junk. So I've sold it to Bravo 2, and he thinks he can fix it, rebuild it, and use it, and then he'll inherit the problems that I've had. But with the GMP Stoner, I've had no reliability. It has had some modifications and things added to it, as I've burnt trigger contacts and done other various things. So over the years with wear and tear, as that happens with airsoft guns, that you frequently use, and this has been frequently used. So when I do use this, I don't really use it on its own. I actually have a sidearm for this, which is my XM177. So normally I will sling this on my back and use the Stoner. And this reason being for, the Stoner is excellent for putting down suppressive fire. It's accurate and reliable, as I've stated. But once you need to reload in game, it's a lot of faffing about stripping it apart, getting the mag out and reloading it. While that's going on, you get a welt in the side of the face. It's a couple of minutes to reload. It's not a quick reload sort of weapon. It's alright having your team covering you, but when they get wiped out and you're still pissing around reloading the magazine on this thing, you do get planked in the head. This is my first experience with the Stoner. Worked brilliantly, took half a dozen people down, so they was quite annoyed at me for putting that much suppression, hitting them as frequently as I did. It was basically a wall of fire. They couldn't get anywhere near me. As soon as I stopped to reload, they bum rushed us and then welded me in the side of the face, took out the entire team. After that experience, I learned, I did have a 1911, which was at the time, which was covering me a little bit, but it just didn't have the kind of suppression to hold them back whilst this was being reloaded. After that incident, I continued to carry my Car-15 with me, so I'll sling this on my back, use a Stoner. When the Stoner runs out, I put the Stoner down, switch to the Car-15, put down suppressive fire, cover myself, do whatever I need to do, reload the Stoner, sling the Car-15, and then go back out with the Stoner. So these combinations of these two weapons work really well. Now normally I have the 40mm underneath this, I took it over because it's probably the lightest primary rifle I've got. It's even lighter than, like, say, the Sterling or some of the other smaller stuff I have. It's highly reliable, this gun. I couldn't sell it enough. This is probably my favourite alongside with my TM AK-47. If they ever do a gas blowback version of this like they did for the AK-47, I would absolutely love that, because that's what I like about that, which this doesn't have. But this has been reliable and it's saved my ass a dozen times within the Airsoft field. So these are the two weapons I use primarily for my SEAL loadout, one being with the other, and then obviously I do carry a sidearm itself. So these are two weapon choices that I've used for my SEAL kit, which is what I talked to. So I do have other weapon choices I can use. SEALs had access to a variety of stuff. The AMD65 is even something I can use as a SEAL kit. It seems to be SEAL, SOGs and some sort of naval reconnaissance team. I don't know the exact details about them, it's a bit scarce, but they apparently use the AMD65 as well, so that's something I also have the option of using. So again, I will talk about sidearms. You could probably use anything for near enough sidearms if you bother with them. I use my signature Colt 1911. Recently changed the grips on this, if you can make them out. The lighting in here is a bit crappy, so I do the best I can for you. But yeah, these are the grips I've changed on my signature 1911. It could be a different 911 at the time, but this is my signature common one. And I've put that actually on the belt instead of on the clips, just to do something a bit different for my SEALs, as I try and do all my kits differently. So I've gone with the typical bandana as I do with most of my kits, as I've talked about in previous videos. I'm not a big hat guy, I'm not a big helmet guy. This is the best I get as far as headgear goes. Not really practical for when getting welted in the head, but I sweat a lot, so this has done me fine over the years. So my webbing in general is just a standard M56 web gear. This is actually my LERP webbing. It's not actually the one I'm using for SEALs. I'm just simply using it as a base plate just to do the video. So my actual SEAL webbing is this. This is still being built. This is why I'm using my LERP webbing at the moment. There's not much on this. It's a slow build that I'm getting to, as it's not something we use immediately and quite frequently. It is something that's in the collection we will use. It's just not on the top of the agenda. So at the moment this is my SEAL webbing, hence why I'm currently using my LERP webbing. So that's that. I have a Chicom AK-47 chest rig for obvious reasons. I carry the 30 round 5.56 magazines in the chest, as obviously it's late war, so the availability of the 5.56 magazine is a bit more common. Obviously under private purchase until the army start adopting them. So I will usually have three 7.62 AK round magazines, or I will have three 5.56 magazines, and then in the actual pouches itself I will have the 5.56 short 20 round M16 magazines. I will also carry a Claymore bag, which usually has BBs in to throw into the stoner and batteries should it run out. So this is usually something I have, and then I usually try and put my camera in one of the other pouches, the one that I'm currently using, so I can get content when I can. I know I don't have a lot of airsoft footage on the camera, but due to the whole COVID thing, it's not something we've done quite frequently, so I can't get a lot of video footage. And when I do, again, it's quite hard because I'm a shooter, not a cameraman, so I get what I can, but it's not my specialty to take photos and videos when I do videos, but I do what I can towards the channel. George Bravo 5 is probably the best cameraman we've got on his team, but unfortunately he doesn't live near the rest of us, as we're a country-wide organisation, so we don't always attend the same games together, so I do what I can on the camera. So yeah, that's my Claymore bag. So take my webbing off and strip down next to it. So again, this is my LERP webbing I have just used simply for my SEALs. You want to try and stick to a lightweight M56 webbing, or even an M56 belt like what Bravo 2 does, without the H harness, but I find the H harness takes a lot of the weight off your hips. Ideally you shouldn't be carrying a lot of weight, but I do tend to carry a lot of stuff because I like buffed up kits. Again, I've already mentioned the Chicom chest rig. The next thing I am using is the Erdls. Obviously a late war kit, Erdl was more popular late war, so that's why I'm wearing the Erdl. You could do Tigers, you could even get away with like a blue t-shirt, like I have underneath. So if I take this off, I actually have a SEAL blue t-shirt underneath. Now this isn't era accurate, this is a bit farby, but obviously nobody sees it anyway because it's underneath the t-shirt. So I do actually have a SEAL team t-shirt underneath with the logo above, because every uniform I have, I tend to have a t-shirt with that logo on, just to represent what t-shirt and what kit it belongs to, just sort of on the racks, just so I know what everything is. The original t-shirt the SEALs did use was a blue t-shirt like this, and I believe it had like a yellow on the inside, and then it would say some kind of number on it instead of the SEAL logo. That's the real one. So this is a bit of a farby thing, but you know, this is Airsoft, not a living history event or reenactment event as such. So therefore I can, I can get away with these kind of t-shirts, as they have a few different ones. So this is the one for my seal one. But if you was doing more an accurate thing, get a blue and yellow one, the realistic one. But this works for this thing. Bottoms, you can't really tell, I don't think, from this angle. I don't have a lot of space to work with here, so we'll be wearing jeans. Obviously we know SEALs wore a lot of jeans. So just an example, jeans. I'm not going to go into the specifics of what kind of jeans they use. I know there's debates of what they used and what they didn't use as far as Wranglers and what style. Again, this is a Nansoft video, it's a Nansoft group. I'm not going to go into the OCD details of losing my shit because the jeans are not 1960s era dated so and so. We don't really care. As long as it looks the part, we're not too bothered about whether it actually existed or whatever, as long as it sells it. For as far as, Nam Milsim type stuff that goes. Next option is your trousers again. So this is Erdl trousers. I'm currently wearing jeans. I thought it'd be good for the video, but you can't really make out much from this angle. I would often go with these. I say I will do SEALs in jeans, and when it comes to the actual event I change my mind and I wear Erdls. These are the Erdls I actually wear for my SEAL kit as well. Due to the fact that I find these a lot more practical, they're a lot more functional than jeans. I don't find it practical wearing jeans for running around in a gunfight. It's just my personal preference. I know SEALs did it, I know Bravo 2 likes it for that reason, that he gets to wear jeans. Usually I cave in and wear the Erdls. It was a common thing anyway that they used a mix of kit from jeans to Erdls or Tigers and probably several other types of kits. So it's something you can do, but I normally wear the Erdls because I find it practical. Now there is a debate that sometimes they wore jeans and then took the pockets off the Erdls and sewed them onto the jeans. Now I don't know whether this is some reenactment thing that reenactors have thought the idea of and sewn it up themselves. It's made its way onto models, and I've seen reenactors do it, but I've never seen any photo evidence of them actually doing that. I have also read one or two SEAL books that have told me some stuff I didn't know, and it doesn't say anything about the SEALs doing that either. But if you have evidence or knowledge of SEALs using jeans and then wearing Erdl pockets sewn onto the jeans, put that in the comments, because that's something that the team would like to debate or know about if you have further information on it. So boots, typical jungle boots that I mention every video. Your typical SEAL. If you're into Nam, you know that's the most common boot used, especially for American forces. But SEALs, there is other options. So just to narrow that down, I have some of the other options. So the canvas trainers, we know SEALs did like to wear these a lot in the jungle. Most of them were fast movers on boats going in and out of village raids or assisting the 9th Infantry Division on the Mekong Delta. So a lot of them didn't just wear jungle boots, some of them didn't believe in wearing jungle boots. They wore the canvas trainers. Another one is an option is your Viet Cong NVA style boots. That is another option that you can use for SEALs, as we knew they wore a lot of different footwear. And some of them went footless. There's been incidences where they've literally gone in and out of the mud wearing the jeans. The boots has dragged them down, so they just tend to wear bare feet. There's been incidents where they've worn bare feet and punji straps have gone directly through the feet, come out the other side, and then instead of plunging back and forth on the boot, the foot just slides straight off. Sounds good in practicality, but I don't know how long that was used or how widespread that was used amongst SEAL teams. Obviously for Airsoft, you are not going to do that. The licensing of the site will not let you do that, so I wouldn't recommend doing that kind of idea. It's the same with sandals or pumps. I suppose they was possibly used as well, the Ho Chi Minh sandal. Again, it could have been done, but it's not something the insurance is going to cover on the site, so I can't see you doing that. So that's essentially footwear. Bags, a lot of heavy stuff weren't like that, weren't really used for SEALs. They were more fast movers. They went in on the boats, hit a village, got back in, and that was the end of it. So there's not really an ideal thing for taking loads of water, food, backpacks and stuff like that. So it's a very basic minimal kit. I think that's why Bravo 2 likes it, because it's quick to put together. It doesn't take a lot of admin, a lot of making out. Obviously there's a right way and a wrong way of doing it. If you still turn up wearing the 1980s kit with jeans or the Alice webbing, that kind of stuff, obviously you do it wrong. We do know a couple of SEALs that do it wrong. They know they're doing it wrong and they don't give a shit. We don't want to be them kind of SEALs. So you want to stick to using something that even looks era accurate. Like I stated, this is not a living history event. We don't care whether it's reproduction or real, as long as it looks the part and you're not going out as a full-on fab wearing Alice webbing and other crap that didn't exist. We want to try and stay away from that stuff, as we've talked about previously on this channel. Sniper rifles, it's something that supposedly has been done, but it's not a common thing for SEALs. There's rumours that they had chopped down M14s with suppressors on, or M21s if you like, with the scopes on. It's always an option. It's Airsoft. It's something I suppose you can play around with, but there's not a lot of recorded evidence of that being done. The HK33 or the TT223, that would be a good option to do if you've got one. LCT recently made one, which is a really good gun, which our Bravo 3 now has. It's a lot of money to get, and it's quite hard to obtain, so I can't imagine everyone doing that. But if you've got it, that'd be a good project, especially if you can put the original, you know, the G3 type handguards on the front. That would be excellent, especially with a 40 round mag. That would be another good kit to do something a bit different. At the end, Tiger's Erdl, it was a kind of a mix, but I prefer the Erdl with it being later wars. I can get rid of, use most of my kits for later wars. Some of the stuff we've got a bit questionable for SEAL's early days. So yeah, I think that's everything I've talked about as far as SEAL kits go. Like I said, I do have other weapons, I can change things out, but them two loadouts I've shown you, the weapons, the jeans, etc., that's what I would go for as a part of a kit. So yeah, that's about it. This is Bravo 1 for Bravo Team Airsoft on my SEAL Team 2 impersonation. So thank you for watching.